Hi, it's me, Ingrid INFP. And you probably saw my videos. By now I've taken down two videos because I haven't been feeling good. Um, I just want to say that it's not that I'm not feeling good because of anything that's happening on the internet. Um, I'm not feeling good because of many different stressors in my life. Um, I have a lot of things to deal with in therapy. I have heard the shitty things that have been said about INFPs on the internet, um, which obviously are just lies, you know. A lot of people are like to go on the internet and hate on INFPs. Um, I mean, no type is perfect, but a lot of people like to go on angry rants about INFPs, like we've ruined their lives. Yeah, I don't really get it. I don't have any big problems from the outside, you know. But life is hard right now for me. Um, at the moment, I don't have a phone and I don't have data, so all I have is Wi Fi, so I might as well use it by posting stupid videos on the internet. Um, I went to the doctor today because I thought that might be a good thing. Um, yeah, was not a good thing. I came to like a retired doctor. I've heard many things about this doctor, that he's a great doctor. He has 6 children, and a lot of those children are also doctors. So it's like a whole dynasty of doctors in this town. He just told me, "Oh, if you're depressed, you should just go outside. You should just go look at the birds." And it's like, I already do that. I already go look at the birds. That hasn't helped me, you know? Get a little bit of a better understanding of mental health. And I actually told to his face that I was angry. I said, "I'm angry. You're not, you think that you know best when you don't." And he was like, "Well, I don't know much about mental health because I'm just an old man," he said. And I guess that was his attempt at humor. But I'm not taking any shit from anybody. If you're going to be working as a doctor, you should know about mental health. So yeah, I hope that better doctors come up and like who understand mental health better, so that we can actually help our patients. Um, it was just such a waste of time, of everybody's time. Also, I found out that it was a scam, that my telephone number has been moved to another telephone provider. I went to the library. I thought that I would be able to use a telephone at the library, but I wasn't even allowed to use a telephone at the library. They told me to go to this telephone specialist guy, and uh, I was able to manage to do a call with a SIM card that he allowed me to use temporarily. Um, but then, yeah, I have to wait 8 working days until my number gets moved to a new SIM card that I will be getting in the mail. Because first I have to wait 3 work days to before I can ask for a new SIM card. Otherwise, my number will be lost forever. And then it's 5 working days before so 5 weekdays. So by the time I get my new SIM card, I will have been without a phone for almost 2 weeks. Which is very handicapping in life. So I took the day off work, and I'm going to be taking Thursday and Friday off work. I sent the emails. I wrote to my supervisor that I also wrote to my supervisor that I met this old doctor, and she was like, "Oh no, not him, this old man." It's nice to have a little bit of support from somebody who gets me, you know. So that was my day, basically. I went and tried to fix my phone, did not manage to fix my phone. Went to try to get some health care, to get some kind of help for this, and the guy didn't even know how to help me. I don't know. It felt like he was like, oh, all this is just because you've been at psychiatry for 3 months. And I'm like, yeah, is it supposed to be like this? That I'm supposed to feel like this at the end of psychiatry? And he was like, yeah, but you don't want me to send you to psychiatry, right? And I'm like, no. So he said, well, we're at a standstill. And I guess that what he's meaning is that there's either or, either you will feel better by looking at birds, or you go to psychiatry and you're hospitalized. There is no in between. And I just wanted an anxiety medication. I just wanted some kind of antihistamine in order to not cry for several hours in a row. I cried for 4 hours in a row yesterday. And I cried so much I got an eye infection, which you can't see, but this eye is more red than the other one because I got like a little... I rubbed my eyes so much that I got an eye infection, and I cried so much that I got a headache, and I did not have the energy to get out and walk for almost 2 kilometers to the nearest pharmacy that isn't the pharmacy that's at my workplace. Because I asked my supervisor maybe I should go to my workplace, and she was like, yeah, sure, come. But then I freaked out because I don't want to meet my colleagues while I'm like crying my head off. So yeah, I found another way. But overall, like, I did all these things because I'm really, really trying. And then it's discouraging that everything that I do just ends up creating more problems for me. So that was my rant about that. I kind of freaked out at my ISFJFS friend because I was like suddenly going through the loop of like, am I bipolar? Am I borderline? Why do my feelings go like the weather, it's like it's snowing, I want to die. And it's sunny, it's the best day in the world, and why? And he was like, no, it's okay to have your feelings go up and down, He's so sweet. I don't truly believe him. Sometimes I get into these loops and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with my brain, And I did have a okay conversation with the old doctor guy. He must have been around 80. Or like he was at least 75, I did get into a conversation because somehow he was extremely curious of knowing who I was and stuff. I have also heard some weird stuff. Um, in this case, I think that the rumors might be true. I think that he is kind of weirdly interested in female younger colleagues. Um, I think his wife is much younger than him because his children are, well, his children are around my age, you know? Uh, so, you know, if his children are in their late 20s, early 30s, and he's like 75, um, well, I guess that he had his kids late. But there are some rumors going around that he's been, you know, a little bit too interested in the young female doctors or nurses. And he had such an, he wanted to know everything. And I was like, wait, we have 15 minutes booked. I know how this works. I know that he only has 15 minutes. And yet we talked for 45 minutes. And like he wanted to know about my hobbies, my family, everything. And then he wasn't interested in helping me other than tell me to go look at the birds. But he did say, well, do you even have depression? And I was like, well, I probably do, you know? I mean, after all of these years, it was like, well, has anybody actually screened you for depression? And I was like, well, I mean, I did the Madras scale. I haven't done a mini interview scale, but I'm pretty certain that I have had depressive episodes in my life. And he's like, well, it could just all be the anxiety. And I'm like, yeah, sure. There are many different kinds of anxiety. But once you have so much anxiety, you start getting depression. So this guy did not know anything about mental health. And he just got away with life in that way. And I feel like there are these people who can get away with things, get away with saying things. I mean, he's gone his whole career and continues to work 2 days a week as a retired doctor. And he's allowed to continue spewing shit, you know. He's allowed to not be interested in people's lives unless he's like interested in young girls, you know. He's allowed to just keep going like this, and that enrages me, you know. So the same thing goes for well, certain people on the internet, men of other types than INFP. They seem to get away with things. They're actually pretty harmful to people around. And that really saddens me, you know, because here I am, like, trying so hard just to stay alive because other people keep putting me down. And now I have support and such from my colleagues at my work and my friends and such. But I'll never have the great support system that these guys have. These guys who are not good people. These guys who are like, they have a popularity within their group. This doctor is really well known in this town, and he's regarded as like the golden standard of doctors. Um, when actually he doesn't know crap about mental health. I mean, he's probably really good at certain things, but can he really call himself a doctor if he, like a general practice doctor, if he doesn't know a shit about mental health? Um, he hasn't updated his knowledge since like the 1980s. Um, yeah, I don't think that I would feel comfortable calling myself a doctor if I didn't know shit about mental health. Um, I wouldn't say that I know shit about any other type unless I like had tons of experiences with lots of different members of that type. Um, let's say the name out loud, C.S. Joseph, you know? Um, he's probably just interacted with his INFP exes and a certain person that he thought was INFP that he considers a horrible person. Now, you know, he's just a guy, but he's got this cult following, and it's frustrating to say the least. That like, it's not like I want a cult following. I really don't. I just wish that there was more recognition for good people out there rather than like people who actively, you know, are ignorant or say like dumb shit, you know. Um, I wish that there was more truth in the world, more kindness in the world, um, less appreciation for these people who don't spread those kinds of messages. Um, I wish that we could, appreciate the good in other people, um, and have some understanding, have some compassion for each other. Um, but I won't stand for people who like intentionally harm other people or say crap about other people. Um, Unfortunately, that's what a lot of politics is about. It's about saying crap to each other, um, which is how there's votes, you know. Um, there's so much hate in the world already, you know. I have been feeling really, really sensitive about stuff. I know that a lot of INFPs are problematic if we think of celebrities. But it's because they're celebrities. It's not because of the fact that they're INFPs that they became problematic. It's because they had disgusting amounts of fame and money and power, um, that they start acting in crazy ways and get away with it. You know, it's not because these people are INFPs that they do bad stuff. INFPs in general are pretty harmless. There's always a stereotype about the INFP who is vindictive or that is um, uh, that goes on rants and wants to actively hurt people, um, or like will tell you everything wrong about you and be try to appear morally pure. I don't think that I relate to any of those things. And I don't really know any INFPs who do. We can have problems with TI logic, but ultimately we are after the same thing. We are after the truth. It's just another version of the truth, you know. It's our FI truth, you know, and our FI truth is very concerned with morals. We're very concerned with what is right. And of course, what is right will be different for different people. But there are certain things that are just hurtful, you know, for everybody. I think that we need to be less hard on ourselves, INFPs, because we are good people. Everybody wants to like tell us, oh, well, everybody has flaws. Yes, everybody has flaws. But are our flaws really that bad of flaws to have? You know? Our flaws lie in, well, sometimes we're inconsistent. Okay, is that so bad to have that flaw? Sometimes we aren't very organized. Is that such a bad flaw? I mean, these are things that I would consider more factual than any of the other shit that's spewed online. What other flaws could we have? We can be stubborn. Is that always a bad flaw? Not always, you know. I mean, it can get to certain lengths, but in general, it's not such a bad thing to be stubborn and like stick to your ideas. What other flaws can we think of? We're introverted. That's not such a bad flaw. I mean, is it a flaw, really? We aren't very practical. We have a hard time with practical things. Is that such a bad flaw? I mean, you know, okay, so we have our flaws, but we are not bad people. We don't have flaws that actively are there to like discriminate and hurt other people. Our flaws are just flaws that any person can have. People of any type can have. I'm talking about the stereotypical flaws. But I'm not talking about the flaws that people have invented about INFPs. Just from, well, an ex that they think is INFP, you know. You can't make generalizations like that, because that's going to hurt people. I think that because so much of the INFP is internal, a lot of people will misunderstand our intentions. And that will come out in them thinking that an INFP is like a terrible bad person. But that just means that they can't really see our perspective. There are several sides to the same story, as people are very quick to point out whenever I tell my side of the story. But it's like, okay, so you're willing to listen to everybody else's perspective except for mine. Is that really a democratic society? Is that really respecting my right to speak, my freedoms? Not really, you know. Why are you so interested in listening to other types' perspectives? Why are you so interested in hearing the older guy, cis white male. Okay, I'm going to be that leftist feminist person, okay? Why are you so interested in hearing those people's perspective first and listen to mine as an afterthought and not believing me when I say certain things? Why are you not listening to me? You're like, oh, you need to be open-minded. You need to look at all the different perspectives on the story. Like, you could also be a terrible person. And sure, you know, you don't know me personally, you know me from the internet. But why is my perspective always put last? You know? My perspective is just as valid as your perspective. And I'm a living being in this world, just like you. So why are you so mad at people like me? Why do you think that you can belittle people like me? And this goes for, C.S. Joseph, and it goes for a lot of YouTubers of other types than INFP. It also goes for politicians. It goes for all sorts of different people. It also goes to that doctor that I met today, who won't listen to my perspective, as a younger female doctor, because, well, he has all the experience, I guess, except that he doesn't know anything about mental health, which you know, should put him at a disadvantage, but instead it puts me at a disadvantage. You know, that's shit, you know. I wish that it wasn't like that. Oops. Sorry. Sorry, guys. My phone was finished charging, and the light was getting low, so I did not see what was happening. Anyway, I think that my rant is over soon. And I know that it's a weird video to put in contrast someone on YouTube with someone that I met today. But it kind of comes down to the same thing, the fact that people would rather listen to this one person because they are well respected within a certain community, rather than to listen to the underdog, oftentimes the INFP. Because, well, as far as I know, I don't know of any INFP cult leaders at the moment. It depends what you mean by that, but I don't know of any INFPs who produce this sort of effect, you know. And the INFPs that are famous, rich and famous, at a certain point they've lost their ethical compass. But we can't judge people of a certain type by certain people. You have to realize that you're generalizing to a huge percentage of the world population. I mean, INFPs are 4% of the world population. You know, that is not a lot, but it's still a large amount of people in the world. Are these people all terrible people? You know, that is kind of scary for the world. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Bye.